If you're trying to jumpstart your business credit funding and you've been in business for a few months and you have revenue coming in, but you don't have tens of thousands of dollars coming in, then I'm going to show you the best lenders you possibly want to check out. Now, the first lender, we're talking about Nucle Capital Group. All right. And now the thing about it with Nucle Capital Group, they work with subprime borrowers. Okay, so it's not about the credit with them, it is about the revenue, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. Now, here's the thing about it is that they actually don't worry about the credit. Okay, so this is one of the key things that I keep telling you guys. If you have a business that's just doing revenue and you don't have the best credit and you can't find nobody to add on to the company to get funding, these are the lenders. Now, here's an understanding. This is a merchant cash advance, okay? Now, for many of us that may have had experience with them, we know that they can be taxing on the business, whether it's weekly, bi-weekly, or even daily. But they offer funding, all right, without the credit, all right? So you have to be pre-qualified. They'll soon be offering lines of credit as well. But let's look at some of the criteria in order for you to even qualify for them, all right? They want you in business at least 1 year, annual revenue for about $50,000. So you have to be making at least about $4,200 a month, okay? But as you can see here, a 550 credit score, and you have to have a business bank account. Okay, now in order for them to approve you for funding, you would have to connect your business bank account to the Plaid system so they can actually verify that the business is generating revenue. Okay, but here's the key thing about it. This $50,000 annual revenue, that's a very small amount. So you can be shining shoes and bring in $4,200 a month. Okay, so it's not, as a matter of fact, yeah, that's about $4,200 a month. You're not having to make a lot of money with them, all right? So this is the first lender. Now, with this here second lender, this is Capital on Tap. Many of us are very familiar with them. Now, one of the key things about Capital on Tap is that you cannot be a sole prop. They do not work with sole proprietors, but you can be a corporation or an LLC. And they want you in business at least 6 months, and your revenue has to be about $2,500. Now, here's the interesting thing about it. They do a soft pull on the credit, okay? So they will do a soft pull. And one other thing I want to tell you guys, and this is very important, whatever you put on that application, because they're actually going to look at the transactions in the bank account, they have to be verifiable. Sometimes these institutions may do a 4506T, and they may want to see other bank statements as well. Okay, this is the same. This is the main purpose of me telling you, if you have a business, you have a side hustle and stuff, you need to put yourself on payroll. If you don't know how to do that and you want it done correctly, click the link in the description. Now, going back to Capital on Tap, they're very flexible. They're very flexible in terms of helping people getting funding and stuff. And like I said, as you can see here, the minimum is $2,500 monthly. Okay, so if you're not making at least $2,500 monthly, then I don't know if you even have a viable business. You just have a little side hustle picking up change. And I'm not meaning to disrespect somebody, but in terms of really being out there hustling, getting at least $2,500 a month, that's not a whole lot. It's what, about $700 a week or something like that. $850 or something like that. It's a very low amount. All right. Now, the next lender we're talking about is Fair Figure. Okay. Now, with Fair Figure, here's the interesting thing about it. I've just made a video about them. Now, the interesting thing about Fair Figure, they offer a business credit card. Okay. Now, here's the thing about it, is no hard pull on the credit. Another thing you have to do with them, they have to look at your Plaid, look at your bank account through Plaid. Now, the reason I like them is because of your transactional history. With them, they reporting to Equifax, Fundex, Credit Safe, Experian, and TransUnion. Plus, they actually give you a Vantage score as well. Okay, so when you see companies that give an Experian and a TransUnion, they're usually giving you a Vantage score. And I've talked about how to take advantage of your Vantage score because your Vantage score may be higher than your FICO score. But this is definitely a great opportunity for you to get funding. Now, in terms of them, here's something. Here's a question somebody was asking. Can I apply for capital after I applied? So once you set up your account, Fair Figure is similar to NAB Business, okay? They are Business Credit Bureau. They take data and report it to the Business Credit Bureau. But the good thing about Fair Figure is that they actually will give you funding on the behalf of your business. Now, like I said, can I apply for capital after I apply? Yes. Okay. Now, here's the thing about it. They have an internal score, a Fundex score of 30. Okay. So that means that when they look at your bank account, do you have any negative overdrafts, okay, or anything like that? If you have constant deposits and stuff, and again, you can be Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, handyman. It doesn't matter. They're willing to give you funding if you qualify. And again, that score they want you to have is at least 30 or above. Now, this is a business credit card, all right? Now, this is also a merchant cash advance type of institution. Now, here's the thing you need to understand about merchant cash advance institution. The interest rate, because you may be approaching them with a low credit score, is going to be very high. That's the reason they don't depend on the credit, okay? They actually look at the revenue that's coming in. All right, so that's one thing that's very important. And so with them, their lines go anywhere from 500 up to 500,000. Okay, so that's where they begin and that's where they end it. All right. Now, the next one we're talking about, if you're trying to get up to $10,000, then this is Fundo. Now with Fundo, here's the thing about it: won't hurt your credit. So you don't have to worry about your credit score. Here's the criteria for those of you that haven't seen some of my other videos. Here's the criteria. You need to hook up your bank account with Plaid or with Decision Logic. And the minimum revenue that you have to be monthly making is about $1,500. It has nothing to do with them wanting to verify pay stubs. So you don't have to worry about any type of pay stub. They're looking at the business bank account to verify that you do have actual transactions coming into the business bank account. And so the time in business, they want you in business at least 3 months or 90 days. All right. But they do offer up to $10,000. And in terms of who all qualifies, let's go back up here. You can see here from freelancers, which is Uber, Lyft, rideshare, Handy, TaskRabbit, to small business, truckers, taxi, event planners, Amazon, SD. So you have a variety of people that are willing to give a loan, but just keep in mind that the interest rates on these type of loans is going to be very expensive, okay? Especially if you have challenging credit and you don't have a whole lot of revenue coming in. All right, but this is like some of the best ways for you to actually get funding if you're trying to avoid like net 30s and Dun and Bradstreet and stuff. This is the way to go. Now, the next lender we're talking about here is Giggle Finance. Now, with Giggle Finance, as you can see, is no credit required as well. All right, so they're not worried about pay stubs. Again, you will have to hook up your business bank account so they can see what's going on. But as you can see here, just like with Fundo, Giggle, they offer lines up to $5,000. $5,000. And these are the people they work with. So If you're on this list, they're willing to work with you. All right. Now, the minimum of time to be in business, they want you in business at least for 90 days. All right. And here it is. How do I qualify? And like I said, 3 months. 3 months in business. All right. Now, again, with this type of institution revenue, you're possibly looking at about $1,500 a month. So you don't need a whole lot of revenue in order to qualify for these type of business loans with no pay stubs. All right. Now, there's one other lender we're going to be talking about, and this is Lindessa. Okay. And they do cash advances as well. All right. Now, the interesting thing about it with Lindessa, how do you qualify for a freelance cash advance? All right, and here we're talking about qualify for a freelance cash advance. Doesn't require credit check, so you're not worried about credit. Okay, so 3 months in business. There you go. Okay, so now you see there's multiple lenders out here that will loan you a short-term loan in order to help you get over the hump. Now, again, the maximum they loan is up to $5,000. All right. So that's the thing about it. Now you understand who's out there that's giving you funding and stuff with no pay stubs. If you're worried about your credit, no credit checks, these are the type of lenders you're actually looking at in terms of who will help you. All right. Now, if you have any questions about business credit funding, personal credit funding, removing negative items off the credit, click the link in the description. Schedule a one-on-one consultation. Thank you.